It's Monday, December 20th, 2010, and this week's BeakerBeat, 'twas the week before Christmas and all through the land, a blockbuster drug was surprisingly banned. Plus a pharma giant is making a loud clatter, caught on Wikileaks, a very serious matter. While the FDA leaves coal in one company's stocking, some CEOs may be quitting, for reasons quite shocking. So Santa called out as he rode in his sleigh's front seat. Merry Christmas to all, time for this week's BeakerBeat.
Ho, ho, ho.
Hello everyone, welcome to BeakerBeat. I'm Mike Justice, and in keeping with the holiday spirit, we're going to host this week's show as famous Christmas cartoon characters. Joining me this week is Allie Lee.
Wait, the entire show will be cartoons?
That's right.
So no one will get to see me?
Well, no, but... Oh, stop that. It'll be fun.
Well, alright, but I get to pick the next cartoon then.
Okay, that's fair. Now let's get to our top story. It's a story filled with the joy of the holiday season, involving Pfizer.
Really?
No, not really. Once again, Pfizer has found itself in the middle of the biggest global headlines. This time it's involving perhaps the biggest story of the year, if not decade, the Wikileaks saga. It seems that in 2009, Pfizer allegedly hired investigators to dig for evidence of corruption on a Nigerian official, hoping to get him to drop a similar lawsuit against the company. Pfizer has denounced the report, which was obtained by Wikileaks and published in the Guardian newspaper in London. It centers around the antibiotic Trovan, which was given to children in Kano State in 1996 as part of a clinical study during a meningitis outbreak. The Nigerian government said the drug caused deaths and deformities among children and had been used without approval. Pfizer maintained the trial was conducted with the approval of the Nigerian government and consent of the participants' parents or guardians, and was consistent with Nigerian laws. A he said, she said story. The company official named in the leaked U.S. cable is Enrico Legari, Pfizer's country manager in Nigeria. The redacted cable says, quote, according to Legari, Pfizer had hired investigators to uncover corruption links to Federal Attorney General Michael Ayandoaka, to expose him and put pressure on him to drop the federal cases. He said Pfizer's investigators were passing this information to local media. End quote. Ayandoaka is no longer in office. He left in February this year. Pfizer released this statement, quote, although Pfizer has not seen any documents from the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria regarding the federal government cases, any notion that the company hired investigators in connection to the former Attorney General is simply preposterous, end quote. Now, if Pfizer's lucky, this will only be an embarrassment and not lead to any criminal conduct investigation. Hey, I'm Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah, I figured this captured your personality. Fat, loud, and obnoxious.
Well, I see you decided to be Rudolph. Makes perfect sense.
Why? Because I'm the heroic star of the show?
No, his nose is red and so is yours, though I doubt he's been drinking wine all day.
Oh, that is just rude! Moving on, tell us what you think about this story or any other.
That's right. To comment, it's very easy. Just click on the orange button or send an email to beakerbeat@beaker.com. We'd love to hear from you. Right, Rudolph, the lit-up reindeer?
You better watch your back, Yukon, or you'll find that X in there.
And when you're done watching BeakerBeat, check out Beaker's blog, where we delve into the possibility that Pfizer's outgoing CEO, Jeffrey Kindler, quit for political reasons. Is it true?
Kindler himself says he was just simply exhausted by the demands of the job, but I do think that there is a political dimension to this. With him gone, it's better for Pfizer. Kindler was the ringleader of the big pharma CEOs in favor of Obamacare. Now, Pfizer and the other big pharma companies have to deal with the Republicans on the Hill.
Check out all the video and commentary, then decide for yourself. Join the debate on that story and more on Beaker's blog. To our next story now. Wait a minute. Who am I now?
The evil magician who tries to kill Frosty the snowman, while I, on the other hand, am the heroine, the female star.
You're a 10-year-old kid who falls for a snowman, then runs off with him to the North Pole. I call that crazy and irresponsible. Besides, this is my hat. You and Frosty stole it from me.
We didn't steal it, you threw it out. And at least I don't have a horrible mustache, and Santa loves me, not you.
Ugh, shoot. Got me there. FDA regulators put a big lump of coal in AstraZeneca's stocking rather than approve the blood thinner Brilinta, which is AZ's most promising and potentially lucrative late-stage pipeline prospect. The agency issued a complete response letter demanding a fresh round of data analysis from a late-stage trial. And while the delay may not be long enough to turn that lump of coal into a diamond, analysts immediately started acting like Ebenezer Scrooge on Christmas Eve.
And a bah humbug to you.
Basically, they freaked out, and AZ's stock dropped. The concern is the impact a delay could have on the drug's blockbuster potential. Bloomberg's average peak sale projection comes in at $2.7 billion by the year 2015, a revenue stream that AZ badly needs to make up for the coming loss of patent protection for Nexium. Brilinta won a lopsided 7-1 vote from the agency's expert panel, but there were concerns as to why Americans and Canadians did less well on Brilinta than patients from other countries. Maybe it's all the bacon we eat, Canadian or otherwise. The wider use of aspirin was suggested, but the FDA disagreed. Agency advisors were willing to wait until after marketing began for a follow-up study. FDA regulators were not so forgiving.
Hey, it's Charlie Brown. Wait, that makes me Linus?
Yep, the kid who sucks his thumb and takes his blanket to school.
Well, you make the perfect Charlie Brown. You're bald and a loser.
Ouch! But I am the sympathetic leading man.
Sympathetic or just pathetic?
You know, you look like Linus, but you sound like his mean older sister Lucy. Besides, what is worse, the loser or the one who hangs out with him?
I'm gonna be sick. Let's just get to the story.
Right, well, it may be the time for peace on earth and goodwill toward men, but one pharma giant is ready for a fight. Roche has already appealed the FDA's decision to revoke Avastin as a treatment for breast cancer. It's a billion-dollar battle that is quickly becoming a hot topic for supporters and detractors of the drug. The Financial Times reports Roche asked for another public hearing at the agency to make a final pitch in support of the drug. If FDA grants the hearing, it would be the first of its kind. No company has done it in the context of an accelerated approval. New trial data showed little benefit for patients with the disease. It stalled cancer growth for up to 3 months and didn't prolong patients' lives. The UK's cost-effectiveness watchdog not only rejected Avastin in breast cancer, it gave the drug a poor review in other cancers too. Meanwhile, some accuse the FDA of prejudice against the drug because of its high cost, something that isn't supposed to be a factor in FDA approval decisions. Roche says Avastin is an important option for cancer patients. The rub is, the drug seems to be effective only in a small percentage of women, and the cost is very high. That gets into questions of value in regards to prolonging life. Now, it's important to remember, revoking Avastin's breast cancer approval doesn't mean doctors can't prescribe it for that use, but insurers may stop covering it for breast cancer patients. Patient groups are already lobbying insurance companies to keep paying for the drug for patients who are already using it, despite the FDA's negative decision. We'll keep you posted on this story. Time for quick hits, and oh my goodness, why is my hair on fire?
You're the heat miser, an angry, sweaty, fat guy.
Oh, so that makes you the cold miser. Well, the nose is accurate. Why am I dancing? I don't dance, nor do I employ several midgets.
Just trying to send you a little message. If you got up on your feet, you might drop a few pounds. We should rename you the beer and cheese miser, because you seem to like that a lot.
Ugh, I hope you slip on that ice and shatter that icy cold heart of yours. Now, time for quick hits. So rude. AstraZeneca got more bad news this week, this time in the courts. In the U.S., a federal judge rejected the company's method of use patents on the cholesterol drug Crestor. Meanwhile, in Denmark, a court killed its motion to ban a Slovenian drug maker from selling a copy of AZ's top seller Nexium. As Bloomberg reports, the ruling in the U.S. could cut 6 years off Crestor's patent life, which would damage AstraZeneca's sales. Last year, Crestor pulled in about $4.5 billion globally, some 14% of AZ's total revenue. On the other hand, the new ruling could be a boon to the likes of Milan, Teva, and several other generics makers. Just weeks after banking a $69 million venture round, Redwood City, California-based Pearl Therapeutics says its lead drug topped the $3 billion blockbuster standard Spiriva in a critical Phase 2b study. Pearl still has 4 more Phase 2b studies in the next 18 months, but this news may get the biotech a multi-million-dollar partnership deal. Some sad news to report this week. Cephalon's chairman and CEO Frank Baldino died late last week. He helped co-found Cephalon in 1987. The company did not reveal the cause of death. A spokesperson told Bloomberg that the company would not be publicly discussing the search for a replacement. COO Kevin Bucci has been handling day-to-day duties since Baldino went on leave last August. The company moves forward, though, recently buying a stake in an Australian company, Mesoblast, a deal potentially worth more than $2 billion. A British study shows GlaxoSmithKline's swine flu vaccine Pandemrix tops one made by rival Baxter. Pandemrix produced a swifter, stronger immune response and was likely to offer better protection than Baxter's Selvapan. The scientists were assessing the safety and immunogenicity of the vaccines, which were purchased by the UK government in 2009. Pandemrix is produced using chicken eggs and was the standard H1N1 vaccine in Britain during the swine flu pandemic. Selvapan is a cell culture vaccine and was primarily used for people with egg allergies. Checking money matters, Thermo Fisher Scientific will buy chromatography technologies firm Dionex for about $2.1 billion. Waltham, Mass-based Thermo Fisher will pay $118.50 per share in cash, a 21% premium to Dionex closing share price prior to the announcement, and a 32% premium over the 60-day average. Dionex has 1,600 employees worldwide, and the firm will be integrated into Thermo's Analytical Technologies segment. The deal should close in the first quarter of 2011. After almost a year of wrangling with angry and upset minority shareholders, Novartis is finally buying the rest of eye care company Alcon. Novartis will still trade 2.8 shares of its own stock for each Alcon share, but it's adding extra cash, so Alcon shareholders get $168 worth of value. That's $15 a share more than its first offer to minority shareholders. Simply put, the new price is an average of the two prices Novartis paid in two stages to Nestle for majority control. $143 per share in 2008 and $180 per share in early 2010. Australia's competition watchdog cleared Sigma Pharma's $887 million sale of its generic drugs business to South Africa's Aspen Pharmacare, but Aspen agreed to sell off 3 drugs to make them happy. The commission delayed its ruling in October, worried that Aspen's acquisition of Sigma's generic business would eliminate the only competitor in the market for some of its drugs. Elan will pay $203 million to settle a Justice Department marketing probe. A subsidiary will plead guilty to a misdemeanor charge as well. The deal ends an investigation into the Irish drug maker's marketing of the epilepsy drug Zonegran.
Finally today, we all know that the holiday season can get crazy. It's hard sometimes to remember what it's all about.
That's right, the true meaning of this holiday season is money.
What? That's not at all what I meant. And why am I Waldorf?
I think you're actually Statler. I get them confused. Anyway, the money lets you buy presents for all those people in your life who may or may not deserve them, but demand them nonetheless, like a certain co-host that I won't name.
You know, why is it when you talk, I just want to throw a snowball at your face?
Some drug makers must think it's Christmas year-round, the way they keep spending money. Drug makers are on a bigger-than-usual shopping spree in 2010. Life Science Analytics reveals that pharma M&A is up by 20% so far this year. Drug makers are trying to refill depleted pipelines as quickly as possible to combat the ongoing loss of sales to new generic versions of blockbuster meds. Pfizer topped the list with 51 transactions as of October, but second place Sanofi Aventis and third place Novartis are just a couple of deals behind. Interesting note, Sanofi only rated 14th on the list last year.
We'll have a final tally for you in the coming weeks to see who spent the most money buying up other companies in the life sciences biz.
Speaking of money, you still have time to buy Christmas gifts. Just remember that it's not the thought that counts, it's the cost. So spend, spend, spend.
You must have spent many a Christmas on the naughty list.
Well, I did seem to get a lot of coal in my stocking.
Figures. Well, that's it for this week. Be sure and check back again next week and every week for the latest edition of BeakerBeat. I'm Allie Lee.
And I'm Mike Justice. Thanks for watching. Have a great holiday. We'll see you next week. Sit, Beaker. Sit. Good dog. Are we working Christmas again, Jeremy? Ugh, okay. I guess we'll do a funny year-ender show. Your mom will love it. And why am I always the fat, angry, bald guy?